In this video, I'm going to show you how to install a second battery on your camper. Now, most campers come with one battery, which is good for dry camping for 1 or 2 nights. But if you want to stay longer, say 3 to 5 nights, and you don't have a solar panel or a generator, adding a second battery can get you through that time with normal use on your DC system. Now, it was really easy to install. It took about 2 hours, and it was pretty cost effective. This battery cost $97 and the wiring was about 15 bucks. So you can definitely do this yourself for pretty cheap. And this will just give me the added security on those long stays that I won't run out of power. So let's get into the video and I'll show you how to install this. First thing we want to do, we want to remove our propane tanks and our cover, place them off to the side. It's going to allow us to have better access to our batteries behind them. Next, turn off your battery switch and unplug your power to the trailer. Okay, once you have all the power disconnected, tanks out of the way, now we can remove the current battery, the single battery, on our trailer. So I'll just use a 12mm socket, loosen these two up. Take your positive off first, negative off second. Set these wires off to the side, and then you should be able to grab your battery and pull it straight out and set it on the ground. So the box that I'm using is a Camco standard, and it holds 24 or 24M series batteries. Reason why I got this box is because this is what's on my Jayco currently, and the batteries that I'm using are series 24 type batteries. So I wanted to keep everything consistent with the trailer. Next thing, we're going to dry fit this in and see if we have to move the other battery box. Let's see if this fits. Does not fit. Okay, so that's kind of common. The manufacturer will put the box maybe not in the best of spot. So we'll have to take the screws that are holding this box down out, move the box over. But before we screw down this new box, we'll put this box in, make sure they both fit before we screw them down. Now, one thing I want you to do before you put this box in, just take a drill and just put like 4 holes right down here, just in case water does get in here, it has a place to go through. And then for your screws that you want to use self-tapping screws, which I have right here. These are pretty unique, where the end actually drills the hole into the metal, and then as you're going down, the threads catch and it will tighten up and secure your box. So let's get this done. Okay, so I wanted to provide just a quick view of both boxes in place. As you can tell, I had to take off the handles on each of the boxes because this is a pretty tight space. I thought it'd be a lot wider than this. So I just took those handles, you don't need them, cut them off, and now the box sits in there nice. As you can tell, I got 4 screws in there. I put washers on them just to have more of a biting power once it took. And I got my 4 holes in case water gets in there. So now let's go ahead and put the batteries inside the boxes, and then we could complete the wiring. Okay, so real easy. We'll just grab the batteries, have the terminals towards the front. These don't get attached down inside anyway. It's just, they just kind of sit in there like that. Here's the second, this is the old battery. Okay. Now, one really important thing you want to do with this is you want to make sure you have the same batteries installed. So these are both by Centennial, just a battery manufacturer, and it's a RV Marine, so they're deep cycle. So the MCA rating on both of these is 775. So you want to make sure that definitely matches, and then obviously the group size number, it's a DP24MF. So once you get your 2 batteries, they're the same, we can put the wiring to it, and then we're done. As for wiring, the existing wire on the trailer is a number 6. So I went to the store and I bought 3 feet of number 6 cable. Now you could also buy number 4 if you wanted to. Remember, with wiring, the lower the number, the fatter the wire actually is. So you don't really want to go with a smaller wire than number 6. So that would be number 8. So I would stick with 6 or less, or just match it to what your trailer has on it. And if you don't want to make up the ends, I'm an electrician by trade, so this is pretty easy, and I'll show you how to crimp one end real quick. But if you don't want to do that, you can buy these pre-made already from any auto parts store, and I think a foot or 2 foot lengths, which would be super easy. The only thing you want to make sure when you buy that is when you get your lugs, that they actually can be used for number 6. This is a number 6 lug. And then the post hole, you want to have that, there'll be the right size. And this happens to be 5/16 posts. So as you can tell, my lug fits on there nice and snug. So I'll show you real quick how to crimp one on there, and then we'll finish the project and put the rest of the wires on there. So here's our wire, here's our lug. What you want to do is you want to kind of go like that, and then put your thumb down where the end of it's going to be. So right there. And then take a knife and just go around the edge. Be careful not to cut yourself. If you have a sharper knife, the better. Just make a score. And then take this, go down. Too much coffee this morning. Okay, now you exposed the wire. So now take your lug, stick it on there like that. That's a pretty good amount of copper you want to see hanging out. And then take your crimper. This is a Burndy crimper right here. It can do 4, 6, 9, or 8. They're kind of a bear to hang out and use, but it's okay. You'll stick your lug in there like that. This will crimp on the bottom of your lug. So hold that wire in there as snug as you can, and then just force it down. And it's pretty tough. And there you go. There's a nice crimped wire on your lug, and you can tell there it definitely took. And then always give just a quick pull, make sure it won't pull out. And then I like to take some tape, so I'll take some tape, match it, and then just tape this about here back. So let me finish making the rest of these cables up with the correct size or length that I need, and then we'll go and we'll install them onto the batteries. All right, I got both cables made up. Black for negative, red for positive. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take my black cable, and you're gonna go from black to black, okay? On this side here, we can go ahead and put our nut down, and we'll just snug it. Okay, cool. On this side, we'll take our black that we have chilling right here, taped up, and we'll put this one down as well. This one is from the trailer itself, and then this black lead comes from this battery here. So go ahead and tighten those down like that. You want to make sure you don't lay a tool or a cable across the two terminals, all right? Now this is hooking it up into parallel. Hooking it up into parallel is what you want to do for any type of trailer system with a 12-volt system. So when you do in parallel, this point is essentially the same as this point here, and you'll get your 12 volts. If you do a series, which I won't go into, if you hook these up in series, which you could technically do, but you'd have to do some reconfiguring of wire. You would get 24 volts out of the system, which would not be good for this trailer. Then we'll take our red, we'll hook one up here. Just snug it down so it won't move right now. Okay. Then we'll take our other red. Now you might get a little bit of a spark. That's normal because these batteries have different charge right now. So we'll put this one on, spark just a tiny bit. We'll put that guy on there. And I lost my nut. I need to stop the video and get this nut out of here. All right, let's try this again. I recovered the nut. Again, we'll put our positive down from the trailer first. Then we'll put our lead from the other battery. I'll do this again here. Put our nut on here. Like so. Okay, now we can go snug and a little pass. You don't want to go tight on these because you might ruin the post. So once they're snug, not over tightened, it's done. So now, if you have a meter, you can grab a meter, put the DC voltage. I don't know if you can see this, but I'm reading across batteries 12.9 volts. So at least I know that I hooked it up right and it's not in series, it's in parallel, which is good. Okay, so now we can just put the covers on and we'll put the propane tanks back into place, get everything churched up, and then we can flip some switches, turn on the battery disconnect switch, plug in power, and we'll just go inside real quick and make sure we're showing good on the monitoring page. Okay, so I put on that battery switch outside, and just to show you, I'll hit my battery and I should get 4 lights indicating that I do have a full charge on my RV system. Okay, so thanks for watching the video. I hope this helped you install your second battery and give you a better peace of mind that off the grid you'll last maybe 4 or 5 days with just battery power. So like the channel, subscribe, leave me a comment, and stay tuned for future videos.